All right, my friend. So in this video, I am going to be talking about what I do to have 5-figure months. So I decided that I would make this video after I created a tutorial document that it was just going to become so long, and I thought that it would be better for you if we could have this conversation like we were sitting around having coffee. So what the impetus for this is because I'm coaching a lot of students who, come to take their training from me, or they've taken training from somebody else, and they just think that they're going to go like this and business is just going to be there. When I ask them what they're doing to develop their business, what they're doing to grow their business, who their business is for, what they want their business to look like, what type of business they want. A lot of them can't tell me that, okay? And so a lot of people that I'm coaching are saying, well, I just thought I was going to say I was a myofunctional therapist and then I was just going to get paid. That's not really how the business world works. So I thought that this was going to be helpful because a lot of people think that, my business was an overnight success. Now, it grew rather quickly, but also it grew because I did the work. There was tons of hours put in it still is, to grow it and do marketing and nurture a community, all of that stuff. So I believe there's 21 things that are in this download. So we're going to talk about that. And then there's, I think there's 10 things on the action items checklist. Okay. So first, when we're talking about 5-figure paycheck, so a lot of people will think like, oh, Carmen had a 6-figure business the first full year she was in business, so I should be able to do that also. Well, remember, that was my first full year. So my first year, I started my business in May. So from May until December, I think it was like 30,000, 38,000, something like that. So definitely not 6 figures. Also, it was just part of a year. And so the reason that I really focus on the 5-figure paycheck is because this is consistent. Okay. I have not had 6-figure months. I don't know. I mean, I would love that, but I don't know if that's possible for my business. Who knows? But the 5-figure paychecks, so that's obviously $10,000 and above per month. So that's a 6-figure business. Is very, very, very doable. And it happens regularly. So if you're watching this, obviously you're not going to see it, but in the download, there is what I call street cred. So I think that's the most important thing to talk about before we get going, is that I actually do what I teach you to do. So there's a lot of people out there who teach and they haven't actually had a successful business. Or maybe their type of business isn't the type of business that you want. If you're wanting to build an online business and their business was, in a brick and mortar location, and that's kind of not your jam because you want to be able to work from home, be in total control of your calendar, work from anywhere, work in your yoga pants like I am. You want to learn from somebody who has actually done it. So the first thing in the download is me telling you that, like, there's a lot of noise in the entrepreneur space. Don't do this, do this. We each have our tips and our tricks and the things that we swear by. The most important thing, I think, for you is that you are learning from somebody who has actually done what you desire to do. Not everybody has the same currency, okay? I have a lot of students who aren't interested in the money. They just want more purpose. They just want to help people more. Okay. So that's very honorable. Not everybody that I teach or that comes through the Ditch Hygiene Academy, not everybody wants to leave hygiene. Some just want, just a breath of fresh air. And then there's other people that are like, oh my God, I can't get out of here fast enough. So it's important to know that not everybody has the same currency. So the important thing, and the reason that I show you the street cred in the document, is I'm qualified to be talking about this with you. I'm qualified to teach you. Okay. So that's the first thing that you'll see. Regular 5-figure months. Okay. So that's 10,000 and above. And I've had many months that are, 20, 30, 40, almost $50,000. Haven't crossed the $50,000 a month mark yet. I've gotten really close. That's not the norm for me. And I'm okay to not have that volatility in my business. I'm steady Freddy. Okay. So like here it shows 11,388, 14,713. 13,785. Okay, that's totally the norm. All right, so let's just get into the things that I do consistently to earn 5-figure paychecks. Okay, now some of this stuff is gonna maybe surprise you. I don't know. The first thing, my friend, is that I commit to the work. Okay, most businesses take 18 to 24 months to earn revenue. That means that they have to do work without getting rewarded. A lot of people have delayed gratification. And sadly, a lot of business owners don't even get paid. They don't take a paycheck for years, okay? The cool thing is that most of my students start earning money within the first 3 to 4 months, which is definitely doable, but consistent. The commitment is very important. Sorry, I had to pause it because my dogs were barking. Somebody was walking by. So committing to the work. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And yes, I know that you might want to leave hygiene right now, or you want money yesterday. Yeah, we all want that. But you have to commit to doing the work and trusting in the process and showing up. Okay. Like when I started my podcast, I have a really small audience. So it's not like my podcast is going to get millions of downloads, like, very big popular business podcasts. But I committed to that process to show up once a week for at least a year. When I started my business, I committed to doing it. I'm not just going to be a quitter. Okay. So commit to the work. That's number one. The next one is I protect my boundaries, like my life depends on them. So, and this is something that I teach inside the program, but having boundaries that do not budge, do not make you a bitch. Okay. A lot of my students, they can't make progress because they're not setting their boundaries. I hear things like, well, life just happens. Now, I understand like there's life emergencies or that kind of stuff, but when you're choosing everything else and not following your boundaries that you set in the course, or just in life in general, then it's going to be hard. Okay. So when I commit to the work, also protecting my boundaries, like my life depends on them. Next, I have a 2-hour power block on my calendar every day so that I have time to work on my business. Now, obviously, since this is what I do full time, I have a lot more time than that. But for students who I'm coaching on their business startup, they have to put a 2-hour power block on their calendar every day and work in their business. Sometimes this is a tough pill to swallow, okay? This means that you might have to get up at 5 and work from 5 to 7, or maybe you're going to work from 8 to 10 at night, okay? You have to be committed to doing this and you have to do it, okay? So that's one thing that I do. It also goes on my calendar. So it is blocked out every day, my power block. Okay. So that's going to be focus time where I'm working on something in my business that's going to drive the needle. Now, and that's another thing. A lot of people will have questions about, like, what am I working on? Okay. I help you determine your essential priorities, things that you need to be working on. So we're not working on just minutia. I think we get to that later on here. We're not just working on minutia. We're working on things that make a huge difference. And that's typically like marketing, social media, that kind of stuff. Okay, so I have that 2-hour power block on my calendar, happens every day. If I'm going to be on vacation, I either do it or I plan ahead and I schedule my content. Okay. So my sweetie knows, like, we're getting ready to go on vacation, and he knows that on Monday I have to have an hour and a half to, finish my podcast work once it publishes. I do preliminary stuff, but then once it's live and published, I have certain things that I need to do. And then also my 2-hour power block. So like on Monday, for half of the day, I'm not going to be out on the boat, or I'm not going to be out fishing, or I'm not going to be playing in the ocean. So those are the times where perhaps that's when he'll go do his, something that he wants to do. Okay, next. I have a deep-rooted belief that I can make money. I know that I can do hard things. I have proof that I have made a lot of money. I consistently make a lot of money. And I believe that. So one of the things that's really hard for my students is for them to understand and believe that they can do it. Okay. So if you don't have that, you need to do that money mindset work. Next, I know exactly who is my easy peasy dreamy client, and I write my messaging to that person. I don't try to catch all the fish in the sea. You've probably heard me say this time and time again, but you can't be everything to everybody. So while you might be starting your myofunctional therapy business and you just want somebody with a pulse and a visa, that, like, you might catch some clients at the beginning, but long term, it's going to be difficult to grow and scale your business because your messaging might be confusing. If you're talking to adults and children and people who have tongue ties and people who mouth breathe and people who snore and people, like, oftentimes you can just be trying to reach everybody, and it's going to be hard for people because they're not going to go, oh, that's exactly who I want to work with. Okay. Next, I accept that there are things that I don't know, and rather than avoid them, I roll up my sleeves and I dig into figuring it out. This is another thing that you have to get comfortable with and accept if you're going to grow a business. Now, if you just want an expensive hobby, I'm not talking to you, because the people that I help are people who want to build a business. They want to get the hell out of hygiene. They want to build wealth for retirement. Maybe they want another home. Maybe they just want to be more present with their kiddos. It's hard to say what, but at the end of the day, there is always going to be something for you that you don't know. And you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and dig into figuring that out. Now, I just want to see. I wanted to see what my other ones were. So if I get ahead of myself and talk about something twice, oh well. So if you have to learn something, learn it, okay? Don't be afraid to invest in yourself if it means you have to take a class. If you have to spend a weekend learning how to launch your website, that kind of stuff, okay? So I know that there's always going to be things that I don't know, and I have an attitude of everything is figure outable. I can either invest time or money to figure it out. I can hire somebody to do it, or I can figure it out. But when you're setting up your business, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you know how to do everything in your business, because it's probably going to be you being a one-man show for quite some time. Okay. All right. The next thing that I do consistently to have 5-figure paychecks, my friend, I do not take the 3P poison. Okay. So this is perfectionism, procrastination, and people pleasing. This poison is going to kill your business. So if you suffer from this, you have to get over it. Okay. Done is better than perfect. I teach my clients that it's okay to have B+ work. it's really hard for dental hygienists because they, like by nature, we're type A plus people. We want everything to be perfect. But a lot of my students want to hide behind perfectionism and procrastination because they're afraid, that's just high level fear, and they're afraid to get uncomfortable. So don't take the poison, my friend, okay? Next, I batch my tasks and I theme my days. So I don't like task switching, so I will put similar tasks together, and then also theming my days. Would be like maybe one is a marketing day, and one is a finance day, and one is an email day, and one is a recording video day. So I don't want to comb my hair and put on a bra or put makeup on every day. So like if I want to have just a messy bun day, then I'm going to just be writing content. If I'm recording something with a video, I batch my podcast, I batch 6 weeks at a time. So however you're setting your business up in your systems, you will save time by batching and having a theme to your days. The next thing that I do to have a 5-figure monthly paycheck is I don't doom scroll. This is an absolute waste of time, and it does nothing to lift you up. So there's times, yes, where I will waste time scrolling. Very, very little. And it's usually like if I'm on vacation or something and I'm just passing some time, or if I'm sitting in a parking lot somewhere waiting to go to an appointment, I will scroll. But I'm mostly scrolling for like ideas, and like I don't consume a lot of content, okay? Put a timer on your phone and you're going to just see how much time you waste. I have students that will give me some resistance and some pushback. Hey, I don't have time for this. Or putting this 2-hour power block on my calendar is really difficult every day, but they're spending, hours a day scrolling, and it just makes you feel like shit. So don't do it. And then also you can insert whatever your time waste is here. If you're binging Netflix, if you have watched every episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you've got time. And that's the biggest thing. If you're trying to build a business, you might have to trade that together time with your spouse or something to be able to work on your business, especially if you're working full time. Okay, you're going to have somebody help you with the kiddo so that you can have that 2-hour power block every day. The next thing, I don't waste time worrying about what other people are thinking. Okay, this kind of goes back to the people pleasing, but I give zero shits about what somebody else thinks, what somebody else is doing. That's always how I have run my business. Yes, imposter syndrome creeps up sometimes. It happens to all of us, but I just don't. People who have not built a multi-million-dollar business don't get an opinion about my business. The peanut gallery doesn't get to weigh in. Okay. Next, I know what hyper-specific problem I am solving for my audience. So this kind of goes back to, what was it? The one I said before, that I know exactly who my easy peasy dreamy client is. So the hyper-specific problem, yes, I want you thinking, or I encourage you to be thinking that, you need to abandon the thought of trying to be everything to everybody. Exactly who is that person that you help, and what is the hyper-specific problem, okay? So a hyper-specific problem is going to be narrowing down your niche of, I work with women. I work with, like, my associate, her, she works mostly with children. In my practice, she is working with children. We are solving a hyper-specific problem. Another hyper-specific problem might be, I work with middle-aged women who who are interested in improving their sleep to prevent aging. That's hyper specific, okay? It's not solving this big umbrella of problems. This isn't a problem buffet. It's one, okay? So I really work on that. And that also helps you with your content. It helps you with your email, which is my next one. I nurture my email list regularly. This helps me build the know, like, and trust factor with my community. So this kind of goes back to, if you don't know how to do something, figure it out. Now, obviously, in my courses, I teach all of this stuff. But if you don't know how to build an email list and you don't have one, then figure it out. Google it. Okay, there's everything that you need to learn for free out there on the internet in the wild. Now, whether it's going to help you or if it's going to be the most efficient way, that's another thing to think about. But building an email list, my email list started with 0, and relatively speaking, I have a small email list. It's only a few thousand people. I have a small niche, and I try and get better and better and better in my email marketing to speak to my ideal, easy peasy, dreamy customer about that hyper specific problem that I'm solving. Okay. So you're just building it. The thing about an email list is also it's land that you own. So if you're building your business on social media and you are just focusing on follows and likes, then you're going to be popular and not profitable. So also, if something happened to it, then you lose all of those people. So at least building an email list, you will have access to those people. So I can talk to these people every day. I don't oftentimes. Well, it depends. Some of them I do, so I nurture them. Okay, next. I know exactly what I do, who I work with, and how to answer any question that I'm asked, okay? That also sometimes means I get to answer it with, I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll investigate it. I'll get back to you. But this positions me as a trusted expert in the field. So I know that confidence is a big thing, both for my students and also for my private coaching clients, because, people have this dirty little secret that they're starting a myofunctional therapy business and they don't want to talk about it because they're scared shitless that they don't know everything. Now, shameless plug here, I recommend that you go take Confident Client Conversations, because I walk you through being able to answer the most important questions that you're probably going to hear, so that you don't sound disorganized, so you don't sound like a greasy car salesman, so you sound polished and something you can talk about comfortably. Also, I think it's important that you have knowledge that you are comfortable to apply and not just regurgitate. I never want you to answer and have canned robotic responses for something. I want you to be able to have a conversation, okay? So that is how I earn consistent high revenue, is because people trust me. I appear to be, in their eyes, an expert in the field. That is very, very important. And you do that through your commitment and your messaging and nurturing your email list, okay? Next, I spend 90% of my time on marketing and 10% on business tasks that don't move the needle on my business. That's a huge amount on marketing. That means I'm constantly doing something. Okay. And I'm not just putting crap out there to put crap out there. It's like, what is the purpose? There is certain things that you want to have in your emails and your blog posts and your videos, and that is going to move the needle. Okay. So I'm not just putting stuff out to just put it out. I'm constantly like, what do my people need? How can I help them? How can I help them? You've got to bring value, probably 80-20, you have to give before you ask anybody for any money. Okay, let's see what else. I have my prices set for my practice, my expertise, and I do not crowdsource to see what I'm worth. Nobody knows what I'm worth but me. Now, this is another one. So, of course, we have a full training on this inside the Ditch Hygiene Academy, but just because you look to see who's in your area and who the competition is or what Susie said you could charge, it's bogus. It's bullshit. There is no mayor of my own town. And even if there was, again, I don't care. My expertise is helping you build a premium practice. We're not building a Medicaid practice. We're not building just low level like you. I mean, if that's what you want, but I have coached people through this who wanted to help like people who didn't have any money, and it's really hard to start a business and like the food bank, or like that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a life that we're bonkers about, and while that might not be money buys life, so you've got to have some money. My prices are set for my practice. I only have X amount of hours to see clients, so people pay more money and they line up to pay it day in and day out. Somebody else might have sweaty pits and think, "Oh my God, I could never charge that many thousands of dollars," and that's okay. So you will set your prices, your happy prices. So inside the program, I will help you set prices so that it's above your resentment level and below your freak out level. Okay. So happy pricing, you have to be comfortable, and you have to also believe that people are going to pay it. Okay. Which is one of the beliefs that we work on very heavy in the program. Okay, yep, here it is. I'm not afraid to invest in myself to get the skills that I need. If you need to learn Pinterest, take a class. If you need to learn how to build an email list, take a class. Google it, okay? The thing that I have found after spending tens of thousands of dollars on acquiring knowledge is free sometimes is not the most efficient, because if I need to learn Pinterest, I want somebody to teach me boom, 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 boom. Okay. The same for building a myofunctional therapy business. If I'm trying to build a business, I want really a step-by-step framework. So yes, you can find free things out there, but just know sometimes it's not the most efficient, and your time is worth something. So spend some money. Okay. You can invest time or money. Okay, next, I know exactly what I need to earn $10,428.57 every month to keep my doors open. I can easily manifest this when I know exactly what I need, okay? So how do I know this? Because I use the My Own Money system, which teaches this concept. You can't get your money woo-woo on if you don't know what it is that you need. Now, the 10,428.57, if you've ever heard me talk about my freedom number, like that's what I need to make. Now, I have many months where I make, double that. And that's lovely, because then it's there for a rainy day when I have a slower month, or if I take a month off, okay? But knowing that, if you know that you need to earn 10,428.57 to keep your doors open, then you can get your money manifesting woo-woo on, okay? You have to have that money mindset. I believe I can make that money. I know I can. I do every month, okay? So that's a biggie. And if you want help with that, get the My Own Money program. Next, I tell potential clients that I can help them, and I believe it. So again, this is kind of got to push imposter syndrome to the side. It's a confidence thing. You have to be well trained. If you took a crappy course and you don't know what the hell you're going to do to get started, don't let that crappy course be a disservice to you twice, okay? It was already a disservice to you once by not teaching you what you needed to know. So the longer that you don't go get into another course, the longer it's still kicking your butt, okay? In the big picture, yeah, it's a few $1,000s, but in the big picture, long term over your life, it just drops in the bucket, okay? So believing in yourself, your services, your product, your prices, all of that stuff is very important. You're going to mirror this to your clients. And I go over this also with students who, because I'll get some students or potential students that will say, well, your program is expensive. There's other programs out there that are cheaper. What makes you different? I'm like, well, there is no comparison, because when you take a $3,000 course or you take an $8,000 or a $12,000 course, you're comparing apples and orangutans, okay? Totally different. But when I coach those people who really have this weird mindset about investing in themselves, oh, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, which it is. I get it. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention, my friend. But if you don't have any skin in the game, you're not going to take it serious. And I'm here to help you take it serious. So when I'm coaching these people and they want to earn money from their clients, but they don't want to pay for the investment. And I tell them, like, wait, this is what's different about what you're going to do. I'm asking you to spend money on my expertise, and you're going to be asking people to spend their money on your expertise. So money mindset stuff, also belief. Next, I know what my metrics are. I know what they mean, and I use data to drive decisions rather than emotions. So a lot of new therapists, or a lot of people who are not having a very successful practice, or those who are not earning 5-figure paychecks, they have no idea, okay? Like I said, if you're building a business and you want to be popular, then you're gonna focus on follows or likes or whatever. But if you're using, like social media, for example, to grow your business and build your audience, and you want to be profitable, not popular, we, in my data-driven work and coaching, we're looking at things that matter, okay? Who's coming to your website? Where are they coming from? How long are they staying there? What are the popular pages? And we don't look at vanity metrics. I want to know who's saving my stuff. I want to know who's sharing it, that kind of stuff. So again, when I coach you, I help you with this. So we make data-driven decisions rather than emotions. Next, what I do to have 5-figure paychecks is I don't make excuses. So many of you guys, sometimes I just want to shake you. You will argue for your limitations. I'm trying to help you set up a business and grow and scale a business so you can live a life that you're bonkers about, whatever the hell that is. And you just want to sit and tell me what you can't do. Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Meanwhile, a lot of you guys haven't even gotten real with, for example, your finances, or, maybe you can only work 3 days a week. If you stopped getting your nails done, you stopped your unlimited cell phone data, all of these stupid ways that you spend money, that's called getting your freedom number figured out. And I talk a lot about that. There's videos, there's posts about that. But don't make excuses. So, well, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Well, I can't want it worse than you. And I also refuse to fight for your limitations. So many of my students, they want what I have, but they don't want to do what I've done to get there. And they're really bad at excuses. Okay, so stop it. And then, I've kind of already said this. So the last thing that I do to regularly have 5-figure paychecks is that I do not take advice from people who haven't done what I do. Okay. If you haven't built a multi-million-dollar business, I'm not going to take anything. I'm not going to listen to you. Okay. So this, and neither should you. And this goes back to the street cred thing. I see this time and time again. There are more and more myofunctional therapy training programs popping up, which is glorious. It's a great field. There's tons of need, but you just want to make sure that the advice that you're taking from the person who's giving the advice that you are following, that they've actually done what it is that you desire to do. You don't want to ask for directions to Montana from somebody who's never been to Montana, okay? And crazy as it is, I know people out there who are teaching myofunctional therapy who have never even had a business, which seems so weird. So, okay, so those were, I think there was 21 things that I have done to have regular 5-figure paychecks. So let's talk about 10 actionable steps, and this will be in the download. First, commit to the process. Write it down, put it where you can see it regularly. It doesn't do you any good to commit to it and then not do it, okay? So if you're somebody who puts sticky notes on your bathroom mirror, do it. Put it on the microwave. I don't care, but commit to it. Tell somebody else. Tell your partner. I tell my sweetie, like, this is my commitment this year, and it's going to be hard, and I'm going to spend a lot of time working, but this is what I'm committed to. And you know what? He supports me because he knows how important it is to me. He knows how bad I want to remain an entrepreneur, that I never want to go back to hygiene. He also enjoys the luxurious life that we get to live. And I'm not talking just money, like the fact that he walks in the door in the afternoon and I'm standing there to greet him with our dogs. Dinner's already going. I have time to go walk my dogs in the afternoon, so he doesn't have to do that. So we're a team, okay? So commit and tell your kids, hey, I'm going to have this 2-hour power block every day, and mommy's going to be off limits from 8 to 10 at night. No ands, ifs, or buts. Okay, that leads me to the next actionable step. Schedule your 2-hour power block every day. Choose a time when you feel energetic and focused to work on your business. If that means that you got to get your butt out of bed in the morning and do it before you go to your job, then do it. Okay? Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be worth it? Yes. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Next, put your power block on the calendar and commit to the boundaries necessary to keep that appointment with yourself every day. So again, great example, if you put your power block on from 5 to 7 a.m. in the morning, and the boundaries that you need to keep that in place are that you put your butt in bed before 11 o'clock at night, then do it. If that means that you have a hard conversation with your sweetie, so be it. Next, do the necessary mindset work so that you have a deep-rooted belief that you can make money. There's a couple really good books. I like The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. There's another one that I like called Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. Can't remember her last name, but I think it's Denise. So work on your money mindset. Next, identify who is your easy peasy dreamy customer and learn everything that there is to know about him or her, okay? So this is going to help you understand who this person is. This is called your ideal customer avatar. Gosh, my hair's driving me crazy. This is going to help you understand who your ideal customer avatar is so that you can write your messaging specifically to her. If your ideal customer is a middle-aged woman who wants to improve her breathing so that she doesn't have a fugly face aging as she gets older, then that's who you're going to write to, okay? Narrow down what pain point you will be solving for that easy peasy dreamy customer. You can't be everything to everybody. You need to know what the pain points are. Or if you don't know what the pain points are, you need to do some more work, okay? Because you don't know enough about your ICA. That's a biggie, okay? Next, set your prices and believe that you are worth every penny. So that, again, is the big thing. I have students who really struggle with, like, I can't believe that somebody would pay me $1,000 for therapy and people pay me $5,000. Okay. So you have to do the work to get that happy pricing. Okay. You don't want to be resentful. I had a student the other day who had set her prices, and by the time I explained to her that once she applied the Myo money principles, and she withheld money for taxes, and she withheld money for operating expenses and that kind of stuff, like she was going to make less than hygiene wages, like way less. And also she was going to get burned out and be resentful. So yes, not everybody wants to make a buttload of money, but also I think that you need to set your prices accordingly. So we have the Profitable Pricing Lab. We have all of this stuff inside the program. But if this is something that you're working on right now, you have to believe that you are worth every penny. This goes back to that money mindset thing. Next, set your work hours so you know exactly when you will see clients. So this makes you appear polished. This is one of the first-ish tasks that my students go through is knowing their hours. Okay. So if you're working a full-time job and you're off on Friday's going to be your business hours. So the reason I want you to know these hours, like I see clients from 10 to 4 or 10 to 6 or 11 to 8 or whatever on Fridays, is so that when somebody asks you, because remember, you're going to be talking to people all the time. You're going to be nurturing your email list all the time. You're going to be doing social media posts all the time. You're going to be telling people, I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. Beautiful. I think I need your help. When and how do I work with you? Know your process, which is a whole conversation for another video, but knowing your process and how you're going to onboard people and what that process looks like, but knowing when you see them. I see clients on Fridays from 8 to 4. Okay. Next is set up your client scheduling system. So this is important. And this is a concept that I teach inside Ignition Implementation Lab, is that I want your system set up in advance. Okay. Because you don't want to do things by hand and then have to go back and get things organized. So I want you to know what your hours are, when you're seeing clients, and then when somebody says, great, what's the first step? You can say, it is a complimentary assessment and here's the link to schedule. Or it is a comprehensive exam and here's the link to schedule. Okay. You want to do that. And then the last thing on your actionable steps checklist is setting up your financial system. Again, I teach you inside the program 7 systems that you need to have in your business. Having a way to get paid is very important. So usually that's Stripe. It can be PayPal. There's other options out there. But having a way, you never want to be bill collector, and you never want to sit and be a pain in somebody's ass trying to get money for an exam. Like, nope. If you want an exam, here is the link, and it is $300 or it's $150, whatever it is. So you have to have your scheduling system set up. You have to have a financial system so that you can get paid. So I hope that was helpful. I know that this might not be stuff that you love to hear, because you would rather just have something be easy and, some get rich scheme, which doesn't happen. This isn't Field of Dreams. You don't just build it and they come. Okay. You have to be willing to do the work. So what I'm telling you here is the truth. These are things that I do consistently, week in, week out, month in, month out. Okay. And that all goes back to the commitment that I had. Like when I went all in on being an entrepreneur, you will have to pry my dead, lifeless fingers away. So that is it, my friend. I hope that's helpful. And wherever you're watching this, there'll be information to be able to get the workbook as well.